This video will show how to work on the Model 6290 LTD, how to take off the backup wheel, and how to change the drive wheel. So the starting condition is that most likely, well, you can either raise the probe to the top of the tank and let it warm up and then open the system after it's warmed up for about 4 hours, or you can, and that depends on the weather. If it's cold, it could take longer than 4 hours to warm up. Or if the probe is down inside the tank, you can just close the pinch valve on the cable and then work on it right there. So you want to close the pinch valve and power off the system, and then we need to get it in the correct position to work on it. So the first issue is that we need to loosen this set screw right here, but it's not in a good position because it's going to hit. If I try to turn this, it's going to be hitting the gearbox. So what we want to do is we want to first rotate this. So with power off, we can rotate the coupling, and then this turns the drive wheel, and then we can check here. So we rotate it until the set screw is just in this horizontal position right here, and then we can easily tighten and loosen with the correct, that's not the correct size, it's the 9/64. So then, now this is the correct one. Okay, so now we can, it's tight now, so we would want to loosen if we're taking it off. So that's how to get an initial position, but we won't loosen that quite yet. First we want to remove the backup wheel. Okay, so we're going to take off this backup wheel, and it should be tight, and we'll just loosen like that, and then turn this. Okay. Now you should be careful, because once you remove this, there's nothing holding the cable, but the pinch valve should be closed already. See how when I let go it wants to fall, but the pinch valve will be keeping it open, or keeping it in position. So alright, so in our case we're going to move this so that it doesn't fall, since there's no pinch valve attached. I'm going to lay this right here. Okay. Alright, so now that is free, and I just need a screwdriver. Okay, so I found a screwdriver, and I'm going to loosen this. This may not be required, but I just want to do it to make it a little bit easier. So, okay, so the cable, we have this with the tie wrap fixed here, but normally you should clamp this with a vice grip on this side, or I guess with the cable still attached and the pinch valve is closed, so that will pinch it and we'll keep it from moving, so that should be fine. Okay, so now we're ready to take off the drive wheel. So I have the drive wheel in position here. So I'm going to loosen the set screw. Okay, now it should be free. So now I'll use something to pry it with. Let's see if it's going to move. Okay, this one's moving pretty easy. Sometimes it's hard. Okay. You shouldn't have phone calls on the tank. Alright, so now it's almost, okay, so now the problem is, see, it's hitting here, so I just have to screw the screw back in a little bit. See how it's loose, but can't come out of the opening. Maybe sometimes you'll have that problem, so we'll just turn the set screw a little bit, and now I was able to get it off. Okay, so to put it back on with a new one, the same procedure. What I find is you want to tighten this just so it's almost, the tip is almost visible. If you look inside there, you probably can't see it well there, but so you tighten this just until the point starts to come out.
Turn it up so the light's shining down in it.
Okay. You can see so anyway, it's fine. So, alright, and then once because when you get it to the point it's almost visible, that's in almost all the way, then you can slide it through this hole, and then you can put it back on there, and then once the screw is on the other side, then it's okay. Now, I didn't mention there's a key. See the key there? Okay, I don't know if it shows well in the video. It doesn't. Don't get it too close because it doesn't focus well. Okay, so there's a little key there. That has to be there. And then sometimes you have to use sandpaper on this shaft or on the key to make it slide on properly. This one is sliding on easily. Okay, and then what we have to do, sometimes, okay, now it's not going on. Let's see, why did it stop? Oops. Okay, too tight? Oh, all right. Okay, let's loosen the screw a little bit. I can't think when I'm being recorded. There it goes. Okay, so the important thing is now to line it up properly, and an easy way to set this clearance is to use the 7/64 Allen key and push this in until it's touching. Okay, and that should be about right using the 7/64. And the proof or the test is when you put this here, the cable here, it should be straight. So now I need to put this back. I'll loosen this. Okay, so you want to see if it's straight across there. So that looks pretty good. From here, looking down the top, so you can adjust it a little bit. Use something to tap it. Okay, that looks pretty good. So it slides in and out easily, and it looks straight all the way across. So then what we'll do is go back down here and tighten this. See if we can. There it goes. Okay, so now when you're tightening, notice I'm supporting it with my thumb here. You don't want to do it with one hand, just like this, because you may put stress and it may not be straight, and you can bend this screw. It has happened to me before. So with two hands, one hand to keep it straight and in position and keep the stress off of it, and the other hand to turn it. And okay, get it in there. There it is. Okay, and that should be fine. Okay, so that's good. So after checking that it's well aligned and tightened, let me put this part back on here. Okay, of course while it's off you could check to make sure this is tight here. But we show how to check the clearance and check these screws in another video. So those should be tight. I'll put this back on. And then it's very, very important to tighten this, because if you don't, it could fall off and then the probe could fall down. So okay, so you don't have to over tighten, but just like that. And this is too tight right now, so this clearance is not good. See, it's touching. If I try to insert the feeler gauge, it will not go in there. But we have that covered separately. Okay, so that's how you change the drive wheel, how to remove the backup wheel and put it back on. Okay, thank you. Okay, Patrick just reminded me of one more detail, and that is that this block is not the original one, or it's not the current one being used. This one was pulling the cable out farther, pulling the cable out farther this way. So the one currently being used is white, okay, and it keeps it in straight, keeps it in farther, closer, and so that would be straighter going this way. So this one is only a demo unit and it's using old pieces.